So for those of you viewing my portfolio, I'm gonna first of all thank you for viewing. So I'm just gonna take you as quickly as I can through an application that I've been working on. This is nothing that's a production application. It's just an access database that it's in, shall we say, perpetually a work in progress. And I use it as a a way to kind of test out new skills as I learn them, and just kind of, I need some vehicle to put everything into. So this is by no means a production application. There are features that are certainly missing. I'm adding to things all the time. So this is not a finished product by any means, but it'll give you just kind of a sample of what I'm able to do and what I've done in the past. So let me show you the database first. And actually, so every sample database I see out there, whenever you're taking an Access course or a SQL Server, the sample databases are usually something along the lines of customers table and an orders and an order lines and a product. So that's fine and good. I mean, it's a business environment, but I thought it'd be a little bit more unique and do a database based on another passion of mine, which is sports. And so, what if we had some fictional hockey league, mainly, or basketball? You could even use it with football, and you wanted a database to keep track of the teams and games and schedules and things like that. So I'm going to take you, you can look through all these. There's a lot of queries and forms in here. I'm just going to do the basics here. There's a table with teams, team information. Um, there's a table with the games, and this is basically where the league schedule is, and so week number if it's a football season. Trying to be a little bit flexible there. Long distance, if you are, let's say it's a hockey league, and you have, Idaho is playing New York and Philadelphia. You want to schedule those games together in one road trip. So this is just kind of a flag that we'll see in a moment where that's used. Of course, you have to have conferences, and within conferences, you have divisions. Let's just close this. Too many things open here. There we go. So too many things open there. Within conferences, you have divisions. Within divisions, you have teams. Again, you can set this up or not set it up. The big thing is the teams table and the games table. Game dates. Again, this is just to make sure that you're not scheduling a date that's way out of the current season or whatever. So it's a little bit of error checking there. I actually had this in a combo box, and the combo box stopped working for whatever reason. So right now there's just a text box in the scheduling screen, and you see many games don't have are not scheduled. So this is all the games that will be played. Not all of them yet are scheduled. So with that, let's just actually go into the application. Let me just close these so we don't want to tables. We don't run into any problems here. So this is, again, the main menu. Again, nothing fancy here. Just, one of these days I might compile this as a standalone app, and when that day comes, I'd like to have a menu here, just so we can kind of show. So let's go to add a game. Now we can maybe or maybe not schedule a game, but I can schedule Spokane at, let's say, Idaho, and I can add this game. And I'll take you through a little bit of the code later. Maybe there's a home and home and we want to swap. Maybe this one we'll put in a date for New Year's Day. Right now there's no check for the dates. I had that game dates table, and I had this in a combo box because what I was trying to do is put together logic that would was trying to put together logic where you could schedule it like an Outlook calendar, where you could see all the available dates, and that's still a work in progress. But you can schedule it with a date, with a date in advance. So let's go. Let's say we're done here. It's going to close that and open it up. And again, I don't have all the error checking in here yet. I've been working on this database for a couple of months now, and every few days every week or two I'll add something in here. Let's look at the league schedule. This is one I'm particularly proud of. It's a simple interface. I can search the league schedule. If I want to see all of Seattle's games, let's say, put Seattle, all games where Seattle's either the home or away teams. I'll click or. If I click and, nothing's going to happen here because there's no game where Seattle's the home and away team. If I want to see all of Seattle's away games, let's say, or let's say all of Spokane's away games, I'll leave this one blank and I'll select or. So home team is Spokane or nothing. If I want to see their away games, well, I'll swap and I'll again put or. If I want to see the matchup between any two teams, let's say Spokane and Saskatoon, let's say, I can put the both in there and say and this will only show Spokane at Saskatoon, or I can swap and do and. Or is not going to mean much here. Saskatoon away or Spokane home, that doesn't have much of a meaning there. I'll go through the code for that later. That's kind of the big thing here. Team games, you can see the games for a particular team. Again, this is also a way to schedule. So if I want to schedule this game on this date, okay, it went away. That's because that was Grand Rapids. This is I think this might be the one. I think this might be the one I just scheduled. It shows on the scheduled games. I can filter these by away games. Remember I mentioned there was a long distance. If you're scheduling, there we go. If you're doing scheduling, you want to see all of that team's long distance opponents. Whether it's long distance or not, of course, is a matter of opinion. I would say if you're in Quebec, you're going to want these West Coast games. Try to schedule these together, or I mean, in groups. Right? So there's a reason why you would want to filter out just the long distance games. So I think that's it for this, and you can kind of do just away games, away and long distance. I don't know why you would do long distance home and away, but you can do that if you want. Return to the main menu. Let's see, where did we leave off? Game count. The only reason I put this in was when I'm entering games, not necessarily scheduling, but entering games, I want to make sure they have the right number of home and away games. That's really the only purpose. This doesn't really serve much of a purpose other than that. What else? Team games we did. Oh, so if you want to play games, so now I can select a date, and this box gives me any date that is scheduled, has a game scheduled on it. If I double click on, let's say, November 3rd, I know it's past November 3rd now, but then I can double click a game on November 3rd to select it. Now you see it fills in the abbreviations for the home and away team. These are team strengths. If I want to simulate a game, then I put in the strengths of different teams and so where they are relative to each other. This is again arbitrary. It kind of makes one team more likely to win a game than the other. If I play the game, so I'm playing Spokane at Idaho on November 3rd, so it's basically good. Oh, the game's been played already. Okay. This one? There we go. Okay, so again, I just simulated the game as a best of 5. So Calgary won this one over Grand Rapids. So I'm just going to say yes, record the result. If I try to select the game again and say play, you see the game's played already. So that logic we do have, isn't it's not going to allow you to play a game twice. That's pretty much all there is. Okay. But I'll return to menu here, and that's pretty much it in terms of the interface. Let me just show you a little bit of the code. There's a lot of code in here, so I'm not going to go too deeply into this. But let's say I want to go to... this is the game search form. This is where we did the game and away swap. I'm going to go into design view here. And so if you click, or an and is what you click to actually view the schedules. And the event procedure means there's a mixture of SQL. Some of these I have as stored queries, which kind of function as a view would in SQL Server. But this is the logic. When you click the and button, so and or is what you click to actually do the search. What it's going to do is it's going to call a game search subroutine, and it's going to take the and or. So if you selected or, these two queries are basically, they're select queries. They're identical except for or versus and. and depending on which button you selected, and then we select the record source of the form to this SQL statement. Let's see, there was one other that, well, we could do the play games. Oh, no, add new game. This is the one where we're adding games to the schedule. So this is going to require an insert query. And again, we check, I don't know why I didn't name that button, but basically CBO home, CBO away, these buttons, let's go to the form. The add, I want to go to the add new game. And so these select games from, directly from the teams table. All right. So basically it's just the insert query that is used for that. Current db.execute. So basically we execute this query against the Access database. And I think those are all the main things. I mean, I could spend a whole hour going into all the ins and outs here. Oh, maybe one more piece of code here. We're going back to the team games form now. I have a subform. This is the subform with two tabs in it, one for unscheduled games and one for scheduled games, because you select the team in here. It says unbound, but I select this at runtime. Again, I'm putting a select query, so I don't bind it to anything. But the subform, so what happens, you can schedule a game in here, day of week, this game text. Now, game text, this doesn't appear in any tables. It's the control source. But if I go to the record source, the scheduled games is the query inside this form. And so, what I like to do is I kind of use queries kind of like a view in SQL Server, because there's no way I'm typing this all into the code form, the VBA code. It's just, so I have this huge query here. If we game text, so it's right here. This is what I was looking for earlier. Home team city and space home team name as home text, away text and home text as game text. So game text, if we were to open this query, actually, wait, it is a query. I can just open it. Yeah, so it creates this game text by concatenating it creates away text by concatenating away team, city, and team name. Home text by concatenating home team, city, and team name, and game text by concatenating away text and home text with the ampersand in the middle. That's what I was looking for earlier. Once you put the game date in, and then I was on the wrong subform. Game date, once this is what I was looking for, after update brings you to this whole big thing. We do this SQL. Make sure that there's a team selected. We're going to find that game in the schedule, and then basically we're going to do this whole selection. And this is the logic that allows us to not double schedule a game, because what we're doing is we're basically saying, okay, I want to find all the games that this team is playing on this date. If the record count is greater than 1, in other words, there's already a game scheduled on that date, we're going to cancel it. So, and then of course I have to do the whole refresh thing. So I think that kind of covers everything. Well, not everything, but it covers all the basic aspects of the database. And so hopefully you found it enlightening, or at least unique. And yeah, thanks for watching.